The career destroyed by one bad choice.
Exactly.
There are moments in sport where a single decision changes everything. Not just for a season. Not just for a career. But for the way we remember an athlete forever.
I'm a high-performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.
In Formula One, that moment came for a smiling, charismatic driver who was once the life of the paddock. A man who could outbreak anyone, who laughed louder than the rest, who made winning look fun again. And yet, today, his story is whispered as one of the great what-ifs.
I always thought Daniel Riccardo had at least one Formula One World Championship in him. And I know he did. But it's game over.
Because one choice, one wrong turn, took him from the brink of greatness to the margins of the sport he once lit up.
Like ultimately, is it worth the risk, you know?
This is the story of Daniel Riccardo, and the decision that destroyed his career. In 2014, Red Bull handed the Australian a chance few ever get, a seat alongside the reigning four-time world champion, Sebastian Vettel. Most people expected Riccardo to be a dutiful number two.
Personally, I'm not happy because I'm not here to be second.
A cheerful backup. But from the very first races, he shocked the world. He didn't just beat Vettel. He embarrassed him, out-qualifying him, out-racing him, winning races that Vettel couldn't touch. The smile hit a killer instinct, and Formula One had found its new rising star. Over the next 4 years, Riccardo cemented his reputation. He was the honey badger who struck fear into the late-breaking zones. He pulled off overtakes that seemed physically impossible. Monaco 2018, nursing the wounded car against the fastest drivers in the world, was a victory that etched him into legend. But just as the glory reached its peak, fate presented him with a choice. By 2018, Red Bull was changing. The team that once belonged to Riccardo was now building itself around a teenage prodigy, Max Verstappen. The future was clear. Max was the golden child. Riccardo was suddenly the second act. For a man who had fought his way up from nothing, that label was unbearable. He wanted to be number one. He wanted to prove he wasn't just a stepping stone in Verstappen's story. And so he made a decision that stunned the paddock. He walked away. From Red Bull, from podiums, from victory. He signed with Renault. On paper, the move made sense. Renault promised a factory seat, investment, and a team built around him. No golden boy, no politics, no shadows, just a fresh start. But Formula One doesn't deal in promises. Renault were not ready to fight at the front. Riccardo went from champagne to survival, from fighting for wins to battling in the midfield. Instead of writing history, he was stuck in anonymity. 2 long years wasted. And when McLaren offered a lifeline,
Arrivederci el prossimo anno sulle piste.
It felt like redemption.
What's he getting? That tastes like promotion!
A return to a team with heritage, ambition, and rising stars. Finally, a chance to fight again. But history repeated itself. Because while McLaren gave him a home, it also gave him a teammate who quietly dismantled him. Lando Norris became the star. Riccardo became the question mark. Yes, there was one glorious moment, Monza 2021. Against all odds, Riccardo won again. The Shoei returned, the world celebrated, and for a single day, it felt like the honey badger was back. But in truth, it was an outlier. A beautiful, fleeting illusion. The rest of the results told a different story: inconsistency, frustration, and decline. By 2022, Riccardo was no longer seen as a leader, but as a liability. McLaren, once desperate to have him.
Flashback.
McLaren offered a lifeline.
Arrivederci el prossimo anno sulle piste.
Pushed him out early. He drifted into the reserve role at Red Bull, a cruel twist of fate, back at the team he once abandoned, but now only as a backup driver. The man who had once beaten Vettel, who had once fought for wins, who had once been destined for greatness, was reduced to waiting on the sidelines. And the choice that led him there was clear. Leaving Red Bull. Of course, the truth is never that simple. Was it really just one choice, or was it 1,000 small ones, 1,000 sliding doors? If Riccardo had stayed at Red Bull, would he have been crushed under Verstappen's rise anyway? Would he have been remembered as the eternal number 2? Or would he have kept fighting, and earned his place in history alongside the very best? We'll never know. What we do know is this: Formula One is brutal. It doesn't wait for smiles, it doesn't reward charm.
Pierre Gasly!
It doesn't hand out sympathy. One wrong step, and the sport forgets you. Daniel Riccardo wasn't forgotten. But he became something perhaps worse, a symbol of wasted potential. A driver loved by millions, but trapped by the very decision meant to free him. And yet, maybe that's why his story still resonates. Because it isn't just about racing, it's about ambition, about choices, about the impossible tension between wanting more and losing everything chasing it. For Riccardo, the tragedy is clear. One wrong choice destroyed his career. For the rest of us, it's a reminder. Sometimes the scariest thing in life isn't failure. It's making the right decision at the wrong time. And that's what makes Daniel Riccardo's story unforgettable.